Hello, everybody. My name is Regan Archibald, and the reason I do these videos and the reason we have this show is because a lot of people are unhealthy, and I don't want you to be one of them. I'm the founder of East West Health, which is an age reversal company that allows you to become unreasonably healthy in the shortest amount of time without sacrificing the most enjoyable parts of life. Your time is your most valuable resource that you have, and so I want to give you easy ways to stay healthy so that you make your next decade your best decade. And by the way, if you enjoy the show, please leave us a review and we will love you forever. And please enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Unreasonable Health Podcast. This is your host of the day, Cade Archibald, and I am stoked to be here along with Regan Archibald. Regan, how's it going?
Really well.
Awesome. Well, we had a really cool challenge that we talked about last night. If you're not a part of our Health Accelerator community, take a look at acueastwest.com/hack. That's HAC. And we go through an array of different challenges each week. This week, our challenge is to get some really good sleep and rest. And so the challenge is get to bed by 9:30 and wake up by 5:30. There's your challenge of the week.
Yes.
All right.
And see how you feel. The week before that, we had our participants do hypertrophy training. So, work your muscles until failure. And we had some really good feedback on that one. We got a lot of like muscly 60, 70-year-olds today. So
they're all ripped. Like it was crazy. Just 1 week, it was like bulging biceps. My arms were actually like 3 inches last week, and now like just growing. Yeah. So, well, I'm excited to dive into today's topic, Regan. Let's jump in.
Let's do it. Well, first of all, the new podcast process, it's Unreasonable Health. So we're going to give you the answers that you've been looking for when it comes to how to really optimize and maximize your health at any age. Because, when we say unreasonable, a lot of people, they downplay different habits and new things you're doing. We say, hey, get to bed at 9:30, wake up at 5:30. And it's like, wait, well, what about the weekend? And it's like, well, what's more important? And yes, I get it. Maybe one night a week you stay up an hour later or something, but really it's this idea of being unreasonable when it comes to other people's standards about how you should live your life. And not being reasonable, like, about, things that might not benefit you in the long run. And this is such an important thing because you have to draw a line in the sand at some stage of life and say, you know what, I want to be insanely healthy into my 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it may be. And in order to do that, you have to have different behaviors and habits. You have to have something to back it up. You can't just talk about it. And so this Unreasonable Health show is going to give you the answers that will lead you to not only having some great habits and an amazing lifestyle, but also we're going to share with you some innovations, primarily with peptides. We'll be bringing in some nutraceuticals. We'll have regenerative medicine topics. We'll have some of the world's greatest speakers on, and every week we'll be going through Peptide of the Day as we launch this. I'll share some interesting to me research, hopefully interesting to you guys. And if you guys if you guys have questions as we go, you can always ask those in advance because a lot of our shows are built around those, the questions that each one of you have. And that's how we really, thrive as a community, because I believe that health is something that we dismiss until we don't have it. And it's something that we could all have more of if we just put a little bit of emphasis, focus, and energy on it. And I also believe it gets accelerated when you do it as a community and as a group. And so, hence, and welcome to Unreasonable Health, and hence the name Unreasonable. And so, yeah, so Cade, peptide of the day, we have, maybe we should do some announcements first, and then we'll jump into peptide of the day. What's some big things we have going on?
Yeah, so this week, actually Friday, we have a peptide masterclass. So that is, we're going to be going through and diving into some really innovative and unique peptides. What's really cool about this is we're opening it up. Historically, it's been just for healthcare providers and practitioners. We're actually we're opening it up to anyone that wants to participate and learn about those. Whether you're a provider or you're just someone that wants to level up your health and accelerate your health, you can register for that and learn a little bit. And so I'll post that in the notes here in the link, but that will be Friday, this Friday, 9 to noon Mountain Time. And so that is, really, really cool. I guess that's tomorrow. Holy smokes.
That is tomorrow. And yeah, there's been a lot of energy and thought over the holidays that have gone into this. So, and each one of you will benefit from it. Obviously, there's going to be some deep physiology that we'll dive into, and we'll have Dr. Kellums on. You'll love learning from him as well, but I certainly recommend you guys try it out, at least try it out once, and see if taking a deep dive into some of the science and learning more about how your body works doesn't actually create more unreasonable health than you would have without the knowledge. So my prediction is that when people jump into the masterclass, they'll suddenly start to realize just how fascinating they are. And so it's cool when you learn about biology. What you'll find is that you'll pick one little pathway that you'll start thinking about, and then it opens up this whole wide world of discovery. And it's a learning process that I really enjoy. That's why I like going deep on different things. So we have that coming up. We have our newest,
have a retreat.
Oh yeah, let's do retreats first. We've got our next retreat coming up. I believe it's February 16th and 17th. We will be hosting a mastermind retreat with Mike Koenigs and Christina Wise, which it's going to be based on health and wealth, and East West will be doing the health portion of it. We're running everybody's labs. Then we're doing regenerative therapies, biohacking, acupuncture. So if you've got a group of 8 or more people that you'd love to have them have a whole body makeover, and if you really want to facilitate some type of retreat in your business, maybe you've got a group that you'd like to bring in, and we can host a retreat for you. Maybe you host a mastermind and you'd love to have that as part of your mastermind. We can facilitate. I can even come on site, run labs, read those labs. Or if you even have a large family and you're like, hey, I want to get all my kids optimized, we do it for families as well. Reach out to us. You can easily email me, Regan at acueastwest.com, and I'll get right back in touch with you. And if you do want to attend one of our retreats where we do a peak state longevity retreat, reach out to Tucker. You can text us at 801-582-2011. And so big things. And then, Cade, I got my new book coming out. I'm waiting on the publisher, but it should be less than 30 days from now.
Wow. That is, I'm so excited about that. This book is, really excited. And you going to release the title name?
It's Unreasonable Health, believe it or not.
That's
it. And it's going to, there's some deep research in there, some awesome case studies that I think you guys will enjoy. But it's really a book to help you find a new path, and it's essentially what we're doing is showing you how to bring your future self into the present. So not delaying greater levels of health. And it's, I think there's some original ideas in there and thoughts, but the other real benefit of the book is it explains a process that anybody can easily follow when we go through the 18 essentials in health. And so you can actually implement these things right away and start feeling better, looking better, enjoying better performance, and having greater levels of mental clarity for your life. So, so we'll be on the lookout for that book. We'll be doing a pre-launch and a couple parties, and then we're moving into our new clinic. It will be January 30th. Do not go to our downtown Salt Lake location. Find us in Midvale now at a beautiful, gorgeous new facility on 7050 South Union Park
Ave.
And it's Suite 140.
Yes, so that is our new home. That's a Monday, January 30th. So make sure you come check it out. We'll be doing an open house a little bit later, but everyone, make sure you go there. We will not be in the downtown location after that.
Yes. Okay, well, let's jump into the peptide of the day. And I figured, why not start it with the peptide that I believe everybody should start with when they're looking to turn on a healing pathway. And this peptide's been studied for and researched for over 35 years, both in animal and human clinical trials. One of the early studies they used on monkeys, and they used it on these elderly monkeys who weren't sleeping as well. And they found that not only did these monkeys start sleeping better, but they also had a reversal of senescent cells. So senescent cells are these lineage of cells that die off and they expire, and we never get them replaced. And so the faster you can get senescent cells out of your body, the more you slow down aging. And so what this peptide did is remove some of those senescent cells, and then these monkeys started sleeping better. And it reset not only their telomeres were lengthened, but these monkeys also noticed that the researchers observed they were sleeping better. And then this same peptide has been used in clinical trials, and it's been shown to increase someone's lifespan by 7 years, according to Professor Vladimir Kavasin. But this peptide is, what would your guess be, Cade? Can you guess? Anybody on the show today? Telomerase enzyme peptide. Great place to start with any peptide. It's a longevity gold mine.
It starts with an E.
Oh, Cade's got it. Epitalon. Allison did it.
There we go. She got it. Nice, Allison.
Yay. All right. She gets the prize for the day. And Cade's going to figure out what that prize is, and he'll let you know, Allison. That was spontaneous, the prize giveaway, but well done. So Epitalon, yes, and she's on it now. And how are you feeling on Epitalon? Because we've changed things up with it, where we have actually started doing different dosing structures where you use it every 3 days. And we're just seeing, you can use smaller doses, over the course of about 45 or 50 days. We've done that. The 0.10 mLs, or 10 units. Now we've found with some of the new research that you can go up to 1 cc a day every 3 days on a 10 mg per ml bottle, and we're seeing a phenomenal improvement in sleep, in energy, in overall vitality. Epitalon is just a favorite of mine. Every time I do my reset, which I do it at least every 6 months. If I'm traveling a lot, I'll add in another cycle of it. But yeah, it's been amazing. So Allison says she's doing awesome. She slept 7 hours last night. Someone thought I was my sister's daughter the other day.
That's awesome, Allison.
That's a big compliment. Your sister's probably like, I'm going to slap you. Yeah. Oh, good. And Allison, for just for context, for you to sleep 7 hours is life changing. I mean, this has been a lot of work that's been done over the years to get to that stage. So congratulations, and Cade, figure out the prize for Allison.
Yeah. So Allison, you're going to get one of the first copies of Reagan's new book. So make sure as soon as that's out, we can either you come into the clinic quite often, so we'll get it to you when you come in, or we'll send it to you if that's easier. But either way, you got one of the first copies, hot off the press.
Yes, awesome. I'll get you some of the pre-screening copy, and then love feedback and for everybody who read Never Stop Healing, I really appreciate the reviews you guys have left on Amazon. I appreciate you guys reviewing the podcast. Because we are launching a new name, we would love it if you guys could go into iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast and just do us a favor and just rate it real quick, only if you like it. We do read those, and if you put your name, you may get a little surprise from us as well. But let's dive in just a little deeper on Epitalon, because then it will flow into what we're going to talk about today. Because what if you could capture your future and bring it right into the present? And this is where there's a saying that goes around, and it's a myth, that I'll sleep when I die. And people who are hardcore, they push. And if you wait until you die to sleep, then you're going to die a lot faster than if you actually get some really good sleep. And so one of the studies that was looked at with Epitalon is they found that there was a promotion of deeper sleep. And as you know, Allison, I appreciate you sharing your experience on it today. But what they found is participants who actually started sleeping deeper, most of these people were 65 and older who were in the study. And Dr. Kavassian and his team followed them for a course of about 20 to 25 years. Some of them had died sooner, but what he found is he took a control group that he didn't use Epitalon on. And these are patients who came to him, and they were looking for longevity, but really looking to sleep better. And most of us, as we age, our circadian rhythms get disrupted, and we don't have the same growth hormone secretion, so we don't fall into those deeper sleep patterns. So we need more sleep to actually feel energized. Or there's another way of using Epitalon to actually stimulate the release of growth hormone because of the amount of melatonin that's produced in your body. And so what Dr. Kavassian noticed is that the patients who used Epitalon at least 2 cycles over the course of a year, and they would do that every single year, he found that they lived on average 7 years longer. And now what we can do with telomerase testing and looking at some of the phenotypic expression in the blood of aging, we actually start to see a reduction in the acceleration of aging. And so it's really fascinating. And Cade, at the strategic coach event we had this awesome dude who's in our community, him and his wife, but he said, there's all this talk about, stopping aging and age reversal. He said, I just figured out a new business model. I said, I can accelerate aging in one weekend. And all you need to do is, and he has like, we're going to give you all the cocaine you want, all the booze, all the partying, and we have a way that we can actually accelerate aging. And so he calls it the accelerated aging process. He was kind of using our accelerated wellness theme, but yeah, he made the whole room.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then he also said, you're working with my wife now, which I really appreciate it, but I've got a no return policy. So your job is to get everything fixed, and you can't return it until like her bags are packed. She's coming to live with you. I was like, no. Yeah. So, but Epitalon, I mean, this is where we start with everybody, and including this gentleman's wife, because sleep is such a critical role. And how many of you are grumpier without sleep? And I think it goes without saying, but it just doesn't feel good. Cade, how many times that you're not well rested is everyone around you stupid?
It's like all the time. They don't know anything because I'm grumpy and I didn't get enough sleep.
Yeah, it's like service.
It's perfect. Yeah.
They can't figure anything out in this story. It's just like everything becomes a little more dramatic and
frustrating, and
yeah,
just day just does not flow well when you don't get good sleep.
No, it really doesn't. And so this is where, like a peptide like Epitalon, which is our peptide of the day, what they found is that as people started resetting their circadian rhythm, there's chronic diseases that start to go away. And if you sleep really well, diseases like heart disease start to get mitigated. Cancer, your chances of cancer decrease, and then dementia. And the new study that came out in what position is best to sleep in? Well, the very best is sleeping on your left side, because there's this thing called the glympho and lymphatic circulation, or glymphatic circulation in the brain. It's similar to our lymphatic system in our body. The brain has its own circulatory system, and it's a repository that was only discovered maybe 8 or 9 years ago. But when you sleep on your left side, it seems to have a more cleansing benefit of the brain, because when we sleep, that's actually when our brain resets itself and gets rid of a lot of the inflammatory cytokines. And so really powerful. And this, pop quiz we gave, I shared this last night, but what can you go longer without? Food or sleep? Real quick, I hope you're enjoying the show, but if you're somebody who wants to take your health to the next level, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you realize that you are your only impediment to growth. Maybe you have kids that you're chasing around, or grandkids. Maybe your knees are starting to ache. You're starting to notice that aging is catching up. We'll schedule an appointment with one of our health ascension specialists so that we can get the right labs ran for you. And then my team and I can review those labs, meet with you, and get you a personalized peptide protocol put together. And that will help you recover your health, feel, look, and perform your best no matter what age you are. All you need to do is text or call us at 801-582-2011. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I can't wait to talk to you soon.
It's definitely sleep. I'm not seeing any action on the chat box here, so I'll just jump in there.
Cade jumped in. So it's sleep. And one of the things that happens is with sleep deprivation, our bodies go into hallucinations, because when we sleep, our brain is actually organizing all the data. Our brains are massive processors. I mean, you think of all the AI and all of this, this computer technology and the energy it creates, like the cryptocurrency. They're saying that, people who create cryptocurrency, they need a carbon tax because of the energy it takes to create the Bitcoins. And the crazy thing about that is the human body, the amount of energy that we create just in our mitochondria alone far surpasses any of that. And so we are energy generating machines. But if we don't sleep, it's almost like not turning the engine off in your car, and it just gets overheated, and suddenly our brains start being scrambled. And actually, there was a gentleman who tried to stay awake and watch all the World Cup games, and it was like 3 weeks. And he was like chain smoking cigarettes, doing all these stimulants to stay awake. The dumbest decision of his life, because he never had another decision to make after this one. But he passed away of a massive seizure. And so that was just a few weeks in, whereas people have been, studied, and they, as long as you stay hydrated, you can survive for beyond 60 days without food. So big difference there. But when we sleep, We have antioxidant production. So you have normalizing of T cell function, and Epitalon's been shown to help improve all of these. You'll have an improvement in the skin and health appearance is one of the research articles that's been done on Epitalon. And that's what Allison experienced when she was thought that it was her sister. She was her sister's daughter, which was a great compliment to her. And then it also helps accelerate the healing of cells. And so it looks like we had a comment come in. Yeah, when I was not sleeping, my liver suffered. Yeah, so Susan mentioned that you can see it in liver enzymes. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, Susan? When you're not sleeping, everything in your body starts to get aggravated.
Yeah, it's like every organ in the body just starts shutting down. But yeah, there's no way your body can detox really if you're not like giving it a second to rest and reset.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So some of the other studies, and I'm going to share a couple slides here just for everyone who decides to watch this on YouTube. I would certainly recommend you guys jump into this on the video version of it. And so some of the other things that have been discovered is, let me open this up, but there we go. So they found that it restores melatonin in older people. And I mentioned this study. This is because our pineal function starts to decline in aging. And then it also increases resistance to emotional stress. And Epitalon, because it's resetting that HPA axis, or the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals, it connects your brain to your heart, to your gut. And one of the other things that you're going to see in the clinic very soon, we're going to have a whole new biohacking room. And one of the things we're going to be using are things to reset and improve vagal tone, because vagal tone, as we age, your brain and your gut stop communicating, and that's where you have a decrease in pancreatic enzymes, a decrease in your ability to break down proteins. But if you have strong vagal tone, you'll be doing amazing. So one of the things are eye drops. Cade, I forgot to give you some of our Zen eye formula that is from Dr. Laurence. Yeah, I hung out with him. We skied all day, and he does some wild, great treatments.
Yeah, well, all of his stuff is just really, really interesting and crazy. So, do we have any here at the clinic?
No, Sarah's ordering some, and we're doing a nice. I'll be speaking at the Brain Force Summit. That's the other thing is check.
Oh, yes.
Because I was asked to speak with Jim Quick, and this will be at the end of the month. I believe I speak on January 27th, but it will be live streamed. There should be about 200,000 people on this. It's a Brain Force Summit, and I'll be sharing all of the peptides and nootropics for brain health. But one of the things you can do to strengthen vagal tone is get some Zen ire, and it's drops that you put in your eyes. If you know what Sananga is, it's used to create more visual clarity. It's also used to help see the future a little clearer, but it burns. And so it in kind of the cleansing aspect of the eyes, if you have a lot of goop in your eyes, I've noticed since I've been using this the last couple of weeks, no goop in the eyes. My eyes feel clear, especially I've been snowboarding a lot and I'm wearing goggles. And so it seems to kind of interfere with my contacts, and I get kind of little blurred vision. But these have been amazing. There's oxytocin in it and a little bit of peppermint oil. Yes, you're going to know what it feels like to get sprayed by bear spray. And then the other one is called Bocazen. And Bocazen is phenomenal because what it is it's a love your mouth formula, and it activates all of the taste receptors. So, you know, if you think about our bodies, how can you prime your vagal tone? Well, your eyes are one of the sensory organs, your ears, your sense of touch, your taste. But so we're going visual and then taste to stimulate vagal tone. And if you want to increase it, make sure you take a cold bath, you do some Kegels. Those are things that are really important. But what's in Boca Zen are the essential oils of oregano, ginger, red thyme, moringa, clove, cinnamon, fennel. And then it does have a little bit of oxytocin and lanolol as well. So this is a phenomenal formula, and you'll just notice your mouth just feels super clean. So you don't, you don't feel like you need gum after you eat lunch if you're not home and can't brush your teeth. So Boca Zen and Zen Ire, these are new things you're going to see, and several of you are going to get these nice little gifts, and you can try it out. But once again, when we're looking at resetting that HPA axis, it's like, what can you stack on top of Epitalon to just maximize the outcomes of it? And part of it is the habit of getting to bed by 9:30, waking up at 5:30 in the morning, turning off the blue lights at night, eating, try to finish your last meal about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours before you go to bed at night. No water, at least, for some of you, if you wake up to urinate 2 hours before you go to bed, will help you sleep all the way through the night without the need to wake up to urinate. And then another big thing is making sure that last 30 minutes is a relaxing time where you're, reading or meditating, praying, whatever it may be, doing something to just slowly start getting your mind in a different state of being. And then think about the 3 wins that you had for the day. So think back on your day. What are the 3 things you're most grateful for? Who did you connect with? What experiences you had? What are you most proud of for accomplishing? And then also think about what you're motivated for in the following day. So maybe you're motivated to, in my case, it's like, hey, I'm really motivated to make sure that my editor on my book, things are progressing and that I'm answering their questions as quickly as possible, so I'm not a bottleneck. So I do that first thing in the morning before my day gets started, thinking about peptide protocols that I'm putting together for patients and working with the team on those. These are all things that I'm thinking about before I go to bed. Or, if it's like, okay, what are some ways that I can really capture some new energy and some new vitality and inspiration for each one of you in the podcast? And then I'm thinking about that. And then when you wake up in the morning after you've slept, your brain has something really positive to work on, because our brain never goes to sleep. Actually, it's more active at night when you're asleep. It's using more electrical energy than when you're awake, by a pretty large factor. It uses 20% of the body's electrical energy when we're awake, versus when we're asleep, it uses 25% of the electrical energy. So, it's increasing by a factor of 5, which is pretty phenomenal. But if you give it something really positive to work on, instead of worrying about, whatever it might be, the flooding if it got too warm with all the snow, or all the airlines shutting down, but just think about positive things when you go to bed. Be grateful for what you're able to accomplish, because each one of you are such incredible humans. And then you think about what you want to have happen the next day. And Dan Sullivan created this great app. It's called Win Streak by Strategic Coach, and it's a free app, and that's something that I used for years. And it's a really powerful way to prime your brain. And when you wake up, you have all these great ideas, and your day will just flow really nicely. So, so that's Epitalon. That's some things you can do. Cade, did I miss anything on the kind of sleep hygiene?
And not that I can think of. I think just to kind of second the Epitalon is just awesome. Right? So cool.
Great. And it looks like we had another question come in. This is from Jane. Hey, Jane, good to have you on. As it is to have all of you on, is there a peptide that could help with skin? I have these patchy areas of dry skin, eczema. I've tried all different creams with cortisone, but have not found anything that helps. Is there a peptide that could help? Not sure. If you want me to ask it, let me know. Yes. So that's an awesome question, and no questions off the table, especially if you want to get real, with personal with Cade, that can be, we do encourage you to ask him very personal questions. But there is a peptide. There's several peptides for the skin. So you can use a topical agent called GHK copper. And what that does is it cleans up the DNA. So GHK is a tripeptide, so it's a bioregulator, and it resets the immune response so that you're not in that histamine kind of inflammatory state. And then what Epitalon does is Epitalon, we would stack that with GHK copper, with KPV, for your skin condition, because Epitalon helps shift that TH1, TH2, TH17 balance in your body. So it helps modulate your immune response with the autoimmunity. And then the KPV is a peptide that we'd use to heal leaky gut, because anytime you have issues in your skin, like eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, anything, you have to look at the gut and the lining of your gut. Essentially, the gut is just your skin turned inside out. It's kind of a weird way to think about it, but anytime you see it on the skin, we know the gut's inflamed too. And so KPV and BPC 157 are two great peptides to heal the lining of the gut. And then obviously getting deeper tests ran to see, is it fungal by nature? Is there a parasite? Is it an autoimmune disease? So this is where like a peptide like thymulin, or another peptide like thymosin beta 4, ABP7. These are really good if there's any kind of autoimmunity, but it would still start with Epitalon, reset the HPA axis, because the adrenals govern the white blood cells. So you calm down this histamine response in your body, and then do a stool test to see if there's food sensitivities, other environmental exposures, heavy metals. That's what you'll find in our metabolomics test. And then you'll see a massive recovery. But just in general, you can put GHK copper on it topically, take some KPV, BPC 157. You can do that orally or as an injection, and your Epitalon, and your skin will do amazing.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Regan.
You got it. And Epitalon, we've tried a lot. We've shared a lot of studies on this. This is a study of 2003. Epitalon peptide induces telomerase activity and telomere elongation in human somatic cells. And this was published in the Bulletin of Experimental Biology and Medicine. And then another study, peptides of the pineal gland and thymus prolong human life. This was published in Neuroendocrinology, also in 2003. But essentially what the peptide found is that it protects elderly patients' pituitary gland who have rapidly aging cardiovascular systems. And so they follow these patients over 3 years. They received, in conjunction with basic therapy, Epitalon. And then 39 of the patients did, 40 of the patients just received basic therapy alone. And what they found is the long-term treatment with Epitalon, 6 courses over 3 years. This is that twice a year. Remember, we talked about this earlier, Cade. At least do Epitalon twice a year. It decelerated the aging of the cardiovascular system, prevented age-associated impairment of physical endurance. So even increasing physical endurance, which we don't talk about a lot with Epitalon, it did that. It also normalized circadian rhythm of melatonin production and carbohydrate and lipid metabolism. And then there was a significantly lower mortality rate in the group of patients treated with Epitalon or epithalamine, which is, it's the same structure, in parallel with basic therapy, also indicated in the geroprotective effects of peptide preparation from the pineal gland. So pretty phenomenal study. So if you're not interested in Epitalon at this stage, and maybe it's because you're 20 and you're listening to this, you're like, I'm young, and maybe it's, if you sleep great and you're young, maybe Epitalon's not the thing for you. But I guarantee you, even young people, your habits and the amount of screen time that you have, Epitalon can help take some of that stress out of your nervous system. So here's another study. It's called the Antioxidant Properties of Geroprotective Peptides of the Pineal Gland. And what it appears is that Epitalon, which is a peptide of the pineal gland, it has a proliferative increase in the lymphocytes in your thymus gland. So primarily, you're going to see an increased production of interferon gamma by the T cells, which creates more selectivity. And then they found in detoxification, the study showed that the Epitalon increases the activities of the antioxidant enzyme superoxide dismutase and glutathione peroxidase and glutathione S transferase. So if you want to detox better, if you want to sleep better, if you want to have better immune function, Epitalon seems to be really powerful peptide, and it even has cardiovascular protective qualities. Here's another study where they found that Epitalon might be helpful with spontaneous carcinogenesis in female mice. And so this is where they're looking at Epitalon as a way to turn off cancerous tumors in the body. And it seems to have some very protective properties on patients who have cancer. And so it has the anti-metastatic properties. And they found in these mice that they actually had a lower metastases ratio in the mice who had the spontaneous carcinogenesis than the mice who did not receive Epitalon. So pretty phenomenal. Here's another one, heart disease. Cade, am I going on? Is this getting too nerdy, or is this you guys hanging in there with me?
No, I think Epitalon is it's a game changer. So people are loving it.
Okay, so this will be our last study, and then I'm going to bring everything together as we close up. But another prospective cohort study, they took 79 coronary heart, and this is actually the one that we explained earlier. I'm just going to go a little deeper on it. And they found that they had better metabolism of lipids. So this is where you'll see in cardiovascular rates, you'll have a decrease in cholesterol. They also had a 50% lower rate of cardiovascular mortality and a 50% lower rate of cardiovascular failure and serious respiratory disease, and a 28% lower rate of overall mortality. So that just shows that there's some amazing things. And it's a peptide that's very safe, very well tolerated. And then one of the things you can do with Epitalon is you can use Chinese herbal formulas, because we're east-west. We want to take the journey from the west all the way to the east. If you think of kind of what we did is started with some of the Western sciences, and then if you think of in Chinese medicine, there's this part of your body called the Wei Qi, or the protective qi, that flows around the skin. And there's a really powerful adaptogenic herb called astragalus. And astragalus can strengthen the respiratory system, metabolism. It also helps increase the expression of AMPK, which is one of the longevity pathways to increase energy. But if you use Epitalon with astragalus, cordyceps, even ginseng, you'll have an even bigger boost from this powerful peptide. So wow, we covered a lot today, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you learned something about one of my favorite peptides and many of you's favorite peptides, which is Epitalon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Regan. Some amazing content as usual. Everybody, if you are interested in Epitalon, would like to kind of experience this, reach out to us. If you've never worked with us before, it's East West Health. You can reach out to us at 801-582-2011 or visit our website, acueastwest.com. We do complimentary discovery sessions where we can see if that's a good fit for you. And then from there, we get you connected with a provider or practitioner that can help you with one of these peptides. Thank you again, Regan. Amazing content. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of our live listeners. Thanks for joining us this morning and asking the great questions that you do. And we will be back same time, same place next week. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.